also, I remember in the movie Zodiac, the serial killer Zodiac, forgot what his real name is, Alan. He also worked in this place as a oil refinery worker. There's a nice Marina Bay. If you look at the buildings behind the marina, there are two levels. There are higher rises and lower rises. I think once I almost decided to buy one of the lower rise single family house here. In front of us, the big area I think is called Point Richmond. Richmond overall is not a super, how to say, polished area, but the Point Richmond, because it has ocean view and it has access to the ferry, is relatively speaking a higher end of the city of Richmond. In front of us, this is a small neighborhood. I think it's called a Brickyard community of Point Richmond. Inside Point Richmond, it's an even isolated neighborhood. The good thing about this community is that it's first, it has ocean view. Second, it's quite isolated. So the troublemakers from Richmond, they tend not to visit this place. There are also a little bit of this kind of super interesting house on stilts. House on sticks. Stilts. Yeah, house on stilts. This house isn't cheap at all. It's interesting. Why would anybody spend $2 million to live here? Apparently, some people really want it. local guy here. Local passenger. Almost all the others, the 5 of us, are tourists or infrequent passengers. These piers seems a little bit outdated. Take a look close. Sorry. Looks like this was an industrial place. Sheet metal. Oh, this building can be used as a bunker in time of war. And we got those machine gun holes and cannonball holes right there already. Port of Richmond is over here. You can see it now.
Because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't, it's like a supply truck. And the thing is, it didn't go that fast. It's not that the house it's just, so it takes that much, or it doesn't take long to drive. You have
Alright. We're coming to the pier. amazing in this day and age, still need actual human beings to do this. I guess machine is not still not strong enough. Let's go. Hi.
Thank you much.
You guys have a good one. Thank you. The ferry worker was helping this lady to lift up her backpack. It was super nice. Now I have to tag here again to make sure I'm properly charged for the ride. Okay. This is Point Richmond terminal. I'm turning this way. You don't have to show out here.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
As I said, I once considered to buy a house here. So I have studied this ferry terminal quite carefully, using Google Maps, everything. So this walk. So typically my videos are about the 20 years I have spent actually living in the Bay Area. I think today this walk is for the alternative reality. What would happen if I actually lived here? I bet this parking lot would be super full given how many people left the ferry boat on the other side. Oh, actually it's not too bad. There are a few open spots. Guess it was it's pretty doable to use the ferry to commute to San Francisco. By the way, the fare is one way is $4.90. Wow, lots of open spaces. So it must be not a problem to park in the morning. That is nice. The fare currently is $4.90, starting from July 1st. I think it's to become $5.10, increase of 20 cents. Probably not a big deal. And most of the companies, probably not the most, many major employers inside of the San Francisco, they have the commuter programs to help employees to pay for commute. Essentially, they allow employees to use pre-tax money to buy tickets for the ferry. Therefore, for the people, just to make it easier, suppose the tax rate, state and federal, is 50%. So each trip is like $2.50, and the whole day is $5 a day. That is so much cheaper than driving. Driving from Richmond to San Francisco back round trip, I think it will cost you at least 3 gallons. That's $21. And if you cross the bay, the toll is another $8 or $9. So it's going to be something like $30 already. And the parking inside of San Francisco, that's another 30. That is totally unaffordable for most people. Yeah. So you can see why ferry is so important for a lot of folks. I don't plan to go anywhere else. Just taking a walk on the other end of the ferry. So let's go start. From the other side, from the end of this long and big building. Now look at this building. Can you guess what it was made for? What was it made for initially? I bet you cannot imagine. This place is still having an industrial feeling of it, but I'm pretty sure it won't take too long for the whole area to be teared down and to be filled up with condos. This is a prime location for commuters. Who wouldn't want to leave a condo right here in this parking lot? What a great commute and a nice ride to take the ferry every day to get in the city. There's never any traffic, and the weather of San Francisco is always great. After all, it's Pacific Ocean, right? Never any waves in the bay. It's very quiet, smooth. Now we'll come to this end of the building. I'll reveal the identity of this long building. Take a look how long it is. Can you guess what it is made for? The answer is here. It's actually part of the National Park Service. Can you believe it? This was one of the Ford Motors assembly plant right here in San Francisco. Wow. What a nice structure. There's also a Rosie the Riveter Museum here to celebrate the contributions that our female citizens made during the Second World War. Interestingly, okay, this place is called Ford Point. a pretty appropriate name. There's also a Columbia factory store here. So that one was for Mountain Hardware. How about this one? Moxion. Oh, never heard about this company. It's nice. I'm not sure how many Ford plants have been so well maintained and renovated. Like in Detroit. I'm wondering whether this is the most well-maintained building among all the Ford assembly plants. Hey, if this place is made into a condo, I surely want to live inside. What a nice view. This is a bus that supports the ferry, shuttle people from nearby areas to the ferry terminal. What a nice and quiet place. Hey, that's a famous lady here called Anne Fong. She even have her merchandise on sale on the internet. Let's see. Some people are already waiting. I'm not sure if I want to get on the next ferry, which leaves in about 9 minutes. Maybe I should visit the museum inside. We'll see.